background color. Let's try that. All right, I save that. Again, sorry guys. Again, shit. All my shit the bed right before we went live. So give me 1 sec to fix it. There we go. There we go. Can we see that? All right. We got the chat. Got the chat on the screen now. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry for that 5-minute delay as we figured our shit out again. We're going to talk about, yes, we were going to talk about China and their involvement with this, or lack thereof, other than a couple secret planes that supposedly came in. We'll talk about the Axis, or what is it? The Axis of Upheaval Alliance. China, North Korea, Iran, Russia, and how basically they all have fractured and refused to help each other once push comes to shove. We're going to talk about why. Then we're going to look at some polls because it's interesting, guys. We'll get the Israeli flags up in the second half. Actually, we'll probably get it up here soon. We are going to be doing some very, very questionable discussion about Israel's society, cultural norms, and how and exactly why Fox News boomers seem to love it, because a lot of things about that society are all the things they hate. And so we're going to try to decompartmentalize this whole thing and try to understand again. And I'm going to show you a poll that's not going to make sense from Fox News, because Fox News, anybody been watching Fox News? And I'm not, I'm trying to shit on Fox News that hard. I think all mainstream media is bad. CNN, MSNBC, ABC, Fox News, I think they're all garbage. Fox isn't like anything worse than the rest. But when I've been watching Fox News, and man, every single video I see is talking about why America needs to enter that conflict. Every single video. So we're going to try to figure out what the hell's going on with that. Because they put out a really interesting poll that said 80%, and I'll show it here in the second half when we get into it. 80% of Americans support the United States entering the war. 80%. That's what Fox News said. But it's weird because all the polls we've looked at, and even did polls in this chat, show the exact opposite of that. So we're going to try to figure out what the hell's going on there, because it's a little bit confusing as we get into it. Do you see that Trump said Intel was wrong about Iran wanting nukes? Yeah, he said our own Intel is wrong. He said Tulsi Gabbard, he doesn't care what she had to say, even though he literally appointed her to do that job. So I don't know. Did I see Brent Tucker's take on Israel last night? Seemed very pro-Israel and U.S. involvement. Sure, if Brent wants to support fucking Israel and invading Iran, that's his own prerogative. I don't really give a shit what Brent thinks. It's not going to change my opinion. Love him to death. I think it's a dumb take, but it's his own take. He can think what he wants. You can't convince me. And we're going to go over that. We're going to talk about that stuff today. Again, we sent everybody over to Matt Tardio's stream last night. Matt is super pro-Israel. So what? We don't have to all have the same exact fucking beliefs and opinions, right? You guys, what I would hope for you guys is that you take in all the information that's out there from me, from other sources, and you come to your own conclusion based off of your own critical thinking. That's all. I don't tell you guys what to think. Nate, am I an alcoholic? Yeah, I keep getting that because I'll have like one drink while I do a podcast with you guys, and people are like, you're drinking too much. If I can't sit down and have a fucking glass of whiskey while I do this on the live chats, these live chats are supposed to be fun and entertaining. What's the point of living in fucking America? You know what I mean? If you don't like alcohol, don't have a drink. You know what I mean? I have like one glass, and people throw a tantrum over it. Get over it. Who fucking cares? You know what I mean? Have I ever done a sober stream? Yeah, I'm sober. I'm literally sober every time I stream. It's like going out to dinner. You go out to dinner, you have a drink at a restaurant. Are you still allowed to drive home? Yeah, I'm 6'3", 240 fucking pounds. I can handle one glass of alcohol, dude. Holy fuck. Fucking bunch of communists in here. What happened? What's going on with the chat today right out the gate? Holy fuck. Bunch of whiny girls in here, dude. All right. Let's get our flags up in the chat. We always need them. Fortunately, yesterday's episode got demonetized. Probably going to have to take it down here in a bit. It is what it is. Pretty much, most of them are usually good. Where is our protection? I got so many pictures. Oh, there we go. All right. We got a protection in the chat. Everybody, get those star flags, get those rainbow flags, get those pink, white, and blue flags. Get them up. Sure, why not? Get the Ukraine flags in the chat as well. Get them all. Mexican flags. Those work, I think. Yeah. Get them up, get them up, get them up. We're going to start this thing off with... Oh, where'd it go? Did I lose it? I'm going to need that. We're going to need this one. Here we go. Rainbow flags. Here we go. We'll start it off, guys.
President of the World Zionist Organization. Hopefully he was just reelected. He's a phenomenal patriot and a Zionist. Do you believe the love that America has for Israel?
Amazing Am Israel, and amazing Medinat Israel, and thank you God.
And we hear everywhere in the world that everybody hates Israel. This is love.
Love, only love, only love.
Thank
you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
There it is, guys.
International President of the World Zionist
All right. Wow. We're going to talk about that. Have you guys ever noticed how many rainbow flags with the Star of David there is and how popular that is? We're going to talk about Israeli culture in a little bit. Nate is sensitive. How am I sensitive, man? Me saying you're a fucking idiot is not me being sensitive. Like, you being a dipshit really doesn't get under my skin. I'm just going to let you know I think you're dumb as fuck. And we move on. You know what I mean? Yeah, you drastically overestimate how important you are in the chat trying to spew negativity. All right. No, we gotta call the dipshits out, man. No. We don't fuel the trolls. We just let them know. You know what I mean? All right, here we go. We're going to talk about, first thing we're going to talk about, what the hell is going on with China? China. Because, let's hit some super chats first. But because last time I checked, do you guys remember, is before this all started, everybody said, in a bunch of my videos, that Israel, there's no way Israel could ever attack Iran, or America could never get involved because China and Russia will rush to Iran's aid and China will enter the conflict and it'll be World War III. Well, where are they? What happened to that alliance, right? And we're going to talk about that. But apparently, coming out of actual like Chinese media, state media, they're not even talking about this conflict at all to their people. Like, not even mentioning that this war is even happening. It's just they're completely ignoring it and just turning a blind eye like, oh, fuck, good luck, Iran. I know we said we'd be right there to help you if you got invaded, but nah, dude. Just kidding. So we're talking about that today. here in a second. Let's hit these super chats first. God damn, that's a lot of flags, everybody. Woo, you guys are cooking. Right, Fragile Wolf, $10. I'm constantly offended by everything for no reason, like totally all the time. Man, we got a lot of those people around. It's okay, brother. If you're emotional, you know, it is what it is. I know you're not, but I know what you're saying. All right, Walter Everson, $2. Buy beer on me. Hell yeah, bro, but beer's a little bit more than $2. Just kidding, man. I appreciate it. Break Faded, $2. Trump's actions make more sense if he is blackmailed. Maybe we'll talk about that. Or maybe he's playing 4D chess and he's actually gutting China. We're going to talk about that here in a sec. Dano, Not the Lion's Den, 777. You're my favorite, but up there close to the other mentors and kinsmen. Green Beret. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Ken, $5. Do you know any Blackwater guys or whatever they're called? Whatever they're called. Oh, Blackwater. Whatever they're called now. How do they compare to other private military contractors, Wagner or others? Personally, no. I don't know any Blackwater guys personally. I know of guys. Like I'm kind of like, you know, what is that? 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, like one separated from some guys that were in Blackwater, but I don't know any like guys I worked with personally that were in Blackwater before they came SF. Jesse, $2. Does weekend drinking mess with 18X prep training? I mean, honestly, it's not great for you, right? I didn't drink that much in the qualification course before SFAS. I still did here and there. I've always been a social drinker. Given up like every other vice I've had, smoking, dipping, all that. But, you know, I like to have a drink every now and then. I don't drink during the week, like on a regular basis. Only time I ever drink is typically when I'm going to podcast or get on lives or I'm hanging out with buddies because it makes it more fun. It's supposed to be entertaining and enjoyable. Walter Evison, $10. No comment. Thank you, brother. M. Corbin, what's up? What's up, buddy? All warfare is political warfare. That's correct. Chetta Tretta. $3. What was your MOS? You love your stuff, man. 18 Echo, my entire military career, bro. What's my go-to drink? Old Fashions. It's my favorite drink. And then, you know, I'll do a seltzer here and there. Maybe a little tequila. If I'm getting real squirrely while I'm out. But yeah. All right, let's jump into this first thing, okay? So we're going to talk about this. We're going to get into some videos, but yes, China, which is supposed to be Iran's closest ally or one of their closest allies. Again, keep in mind, guys, let me get some, before we jump into this, let me get some statistics here. See how knowledgeable the chat is. What percentage of Iran's oil is purchased by China? Go, chat. Who knows? What percentage of Iran's oil is purchased by China? What percentage? Somebody's going to Google it and cheat. 70%, good guess. 80%, good guess. 80's good guess. All right, I see some 90s in the chat. Yep. All right, there we go. 90%. Basically, fucking all of it is purchased by China. Then, how much of China's total oil is provided by Iran? Okay, let's switch it up. Definitely some people cheating. That's okay. What percentage of China's oil is provided by Iran? If I see the exact amount, I know you're going to cheat. We got some 90s. We got some 10s. 25s. All right, help you out. 16 to 20%. Okay, 16 to 20%. So about 1/5 of all of China's oil. And think about China. Fucking 1 billion plus people, massive. The amount of oil that they are using is insane. Way more than the United States on a daily basis. 20%. No, 80 to 90% of Iran's oil is purchased by China. China gets about 16 to 20% of its oil from Iran, which is still a absolute shit ton. Okay, so my point with that is China, potentially Iran being sort of gutted, if that oil gets cut off, if there's regime change, that's a huge fucking problem for China. Huge problem for China. It could gut their entire economy. If they just lost 20% of their incoming oil out of nowhere, that would gut their economy overnight. So I would think, and let me talk about how it's even more than that actually here, because again, the way this stuff works is a little complicated, because China, what they do is they actually probably get a lot more than 20%. It's probably closer to like 30% or higher. What they do is, because Iran has been under sanctions for so long, what they'll do is they'll basically use the oil, or have the oil tankers leave Iran, have it basically swapped over to Malaysian oil tankers as it goes through like the Strait of Malacca and things like that. And then that way it basically appears as if China is buying it from Malaysia when they're actually buying it from Iran to avoid sanctions. Okay, so it's probably more than that. The point is, a ton of China and their oil and their economy is dependent on Iran. So you would think China would be way more invested in what's going on in Iran, and they're not. I got Munchkins going crazy over here. She might find her way into the chat here in a second. And so the question is, why? Why is China not like putting their foot down? I thought China, I mean, I did a video on, oh, hold on a second, guys. Don't mind me. Oh, shit. Oh, Munchkin, stand by. All right, so the goal was to set this up so Munchkin could be in the live tonight. Gotta get this reset back up. All right, let me grab Munchkin. All right, stand by for technical difficulties. All right, I ruined it. I had this whole thing planned. Where I was going to set this up so Munchkin could join the live stream. And we absolutely bellowed it. Damn it. I know. So I got the cat hammock. I got the stand all set up for it. And we just dropped our lighting on top of myself and Munchkin. Munchkin will come back. Did you guys see her in there? All right. That was it. Just, oh, they're not pink. Well, maybe they're pink. They're salmon. Salmon shorts, guys. All right, that's a whoopsie. We got some super chats while that shit show was happening. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully Munchkin makes an appearance back into the shot here in a couple minutes. I'm sure she will. Jake the Crypto Snake, $20. Thank you, brother. Very generous. Every other year, the snake, 24 years since like World War I, we've been in some kind of major conflict. This year is one of them. Do you mean Chinese year of the snake? History says there will probably be U.S. boots on the ground. Unfortunately, yeah, there's a decent chance of that. Real question. Is you 82nd or 101st? I was neither. I was a Green Beret in first. Oh, Munchkin's already back. I was a Green Beret in 1st Special Forces Group. Here she comes. All right, Don Pat, $5. Do you think China would act disinterested so that we act and then compete, change their tune once we become involved? I don't think so. But we'll see. We're going to talk about it. James Smith, $10. You should have gone for the Rhodesian booty shorts. Do it right. Yeah, I'm a shorts guy. Neil McKenzie, $2. My dog just chewed through your DD214. Maybe it's a sign. That's kind of like your homework, huh? Munchkin is secretly working for Mossad. She might be. She's a little shit. She's right here. Hold on. God. Knock something else over. Oh, no, she's not. She's not going to do it. You tried, guys. Gonna let her do it on her own. She was already there. She was in the hammock. We boloed it. I know. That's what I get for trying to be fucking clever with the live, you know what I mean? I wanted to pull her in without you guys being ready for it, but oh well. Oh well. Munchkin's working for Mossad. She might be, with the way this live stream just got absolute catastrophe out of nowhere. Monday morning Granger or Morning Ranger said $2 says that cat makes grilled cheese at night. Hey, watch it. Watch it. I even had the Munchkin shirt ready. I had the Munchkin stand ready. Yeah, she still got PTSD. I know that thing fell right on her. Should be all right. She came creeping back in. Munchkin said, I'm going to head out. Yeah, she definitely did head out on that one. That's all right. All right, we're going to fucking get ourselves back together here.
Shopify Point of Sale makes it...
And get locked in, get back into the episode. Okay? We fucking cat catastrophe. Now, I mean, all the couple people talking shit that Nate's an alcoholic. And then I do that right after. This is my first drink. I just started. So, but that doesn't look great. That's funny. All right. Let's get back to it. All right, let's jump into this. Okay, what the hell is going on with China and Iran? Okay, so we got here Iran-Israel conflict. China has no appetite to be involved. This is from 3 days ago. An interview with DW, China expert William Figueroa said that Beijing lacks the capability to project its power in the Middle East. Meanwhile, the Iran-Israel conflict poses some risk to China's energy security. We just talked about that, right? Obviously, their oil. China, on Tuesday, accused Donald Trump of pouring oil on the Israel-Iran conflict as it continued for its fifth straight day. Making threats and mounting pressure will not help promote the de-escalation of the situation. Yeah, no shit. We're not trying to de-escalate it, but will only intensify and widen the conflict. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Guo Xiaokun, I don't know if I said that right, said in Beijing. He was referring to the social media post by Trump before he left the G7 summit in Canada, in which U.S. President Trump wrote, I said it over and over again, everyone should evacuate Tehran. So, yeah, it says here, while U.S. and Israel are the strongest allies, or U.S. is Israel's strongest ally, not the other way around, mind you. Beijing and Tehran also share close ties. And so, I don't know if that's the author or not. Down here it says, would you say that China hasn't been so far actively involved in the situation? No, nor does China see this as an arena where it can exercise influence. China's state media is barely covering the issue. I believe this position reflects China's fundamental limitations in the arena. Simply put, China does not have a significant role in this conflict. It lacks the capability or power projection in the region and is not a key player in the traditional security sense. I thought, see, when I did my video where I criticized Nick Irving for talking about how strong China is and how they would absolutely destroy the United States in a conflict, so many people commented agreeing with that. But like, what happened? I thought China was the big bad, and one of their closest allies is getting their fucking shit pushed in, and they're nowhere to be found. So, and again, their energy and their economy is massively on the line here. So to me, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense for why, if China is this omega superpower that people like to pretend they are, why are they not flexing that strength like the United States is to stop Iran from being overthrown? I'm still trying to figure that one out myself, because there's some potential 4D chess going on with Trump that some people are starting to talk about. Basically saying that this entire thing with Iran is basically the United States trying to gut out a bunch of China's strength, which there could be some realistic possibilities to that. Paper tiger, yeah, I think China is the biggest paper tiger in the entire world, personally. We can talk a little bit about that in a minute. Let me hit these super chats. We got to get caught up. And Munchkin's creeping back in. What unit were you in before Spec Forces? I was not. I was an 18 X-ray. I spent my entire military career in Army Special Forces. All of it. Other than basic training and airborne school. And I made it through SFAS and the Q course my first try. So my whole career. Indo Tarantino, $10. I missed why do you have the Israeli flag in the background? Love the channel. Because we love Israel on this channel. Israel flags in the chat, boys. Everything we do is, I'm basically the Ted Cruz of soft YouTubers. I started this channel specifically to support Israel. And that's what we do here. Ivan G, $5. What happened to Trump's war on the cartels? And yeah, that kind of is interesting how nobody's talking about that, isn't it? They have poisoned more U.S. citizens than all the axis of evil countries combined. With help from China? Yes, true. Petition for you to be on Pepperbox? What's Pepperbox? Is that like a what's the other one called? Munchkin's over there staring at me, dickhead. It's one of the like Twitch type things, maybe. I haven't heard of Pepperbox before. Manuel Gutierrez, $5. Is there a Green Beret in Iran? No, probably not yet. There might be soon, depending on how this goes. Zuby, $5. Have you seen the King of Stolen Valor documentary? And I haven't. On the oil sanctions, isn't it a high probability that Iran just ramp up black market sales? I mean, like, where's that black market oil coming from? You know what I mean? Like, they kind of already, their black market is sort of Iranian oil in the way that they basically, like, whitewash it into Malaysian oil to avoid sanctions. So they already kind of do that, but yeah, I don't know. Again, they buy all of Iran's oil for the most part. So, also, this is what I'm going to talk about. Isn't it interesting? China, our greatest adversary, right? They buy 90% of Iran's oil. Let's say we toppled the regime, we put in the exiled crown prince into power, and he became, basically super pro-America, and America then started purchasing 90% of Iranian oil cheap. Man, that would be pretty beneficial to the United States, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be convenient? I'm sure that has nothing to do with why we're involved, though. I'm sure there's no correlation to that whatsoever. But who knows? Todd M, $5. Cheers. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Cheers to you as well. Is the Israel support satire? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't support Iran at all. So you figure that out for yourself. Would that drive down the price of oil? Probably. Yes, it probably would. But we're going to move into this next part of the video, which they are talking about this.
We did just find out that an all clear has been given to people who are in their bunkers there in Israel. So they go back and forth and they are on their toes. This just in from Reuters saying that Iranian officials are saying they will discuss limits on uranium enrichment. However, the official quoted his words saying a zero enrichment proposal will be rejected, especially after Israel's attack. So how does that square with what President Trump has said, which is they have to surrender it all?
This is important.
Well, Dana, good morning. Thanks for having me on. It doesn't square. It doesn't remotely square. Indeed, it's the first I've heard of that statement. I don't see that statement as being remotely different from what they've been saying for weeks. They've always said they'll have limits. Indeed, they've had limits, and they've violated. They've cheated on those very limits for years and years and years. So for the Iranians to say, no, we still want to have some limited amount of enrichment means they're still headed down this same path. And I think President Trump will clearly see that. You're right. He has said zero enrichment. He's also talked about unconditional surrender. It doesn't sound like the Iranians are anywhere near that. And I'm confident that the negotiations that continue will be done, as Secretary of State Schultz called it, in the shadow of power. Because absent that, without what President Trump has done to set up these conditions where the Iranians know that they could lose it all, without that risk, without that power being prevalent and visible, negotiations are just another euphemism for surrender and capitulation.
Listen to Senator Tom Cotton about Fordow. This is that main enrichment facility where the weaponization would take place. This is what he says.
Let me move ahead.
Time together. He and I are the ones that discovered the John Kerry, Barack Obama secret side deals now, gosh, almost a decade ago, which reminds us all that it is time to put this to rest, to get all of the enrichment out of Iran, to finally put Israel in a place where it can be secure, and most importantly for the American people.
Yeah, Pompeo
make sure
looks
that
wild,
we are safe and we don't have to live under the threat of a nuclear-armed Iranian regime that has for years talked about death to our nation and done everything it can to facilitate that.
Okay, so what they're talking about there is basically will the Iranians come to the table to have negotiations with Donald Trump? You guys saw Donald Trump put out that he is giving Iran 2 weeks to come to the table. Iran has already come out and said, no, we are not going to give up enrichment. No, we're not going to give up our nuclear facilities. Even though Donald Trump is saying that Iran is willing to come to the negotiating table, Iran is saying outwardly in public, absolutely not. We're not going to talk to the White House. We have no interest in basically negotiating under duress. Okay, so it's like you're currently bombing the shit out of us. We're not going to come to the negotiating table. So that's where this kind of disconnect is. And we're going to talk about here in just a second. Let me hit the super chats. But we're going to talk about why this warning from Trump, this 2-week warning is, I don't know. I think it's total fucking pandering bullshit. And I'll talk about why here in a second. Okay. All right. I hit the super chats. I don't want to miss any. Got those ones already. There we go. Marcos Villa, $10 says, I don't like. Yeah, please clarify. No, you don't get it, dude. Like, here's what you guys not understand Israel is a secular, non-religious democracy country. Has nothing to do with the religion of, it has nothing to do with Jews. Israel and Zionism has nothing to do with Jewish people. You guys understand that, right? Like, and we're gonna show you Israeli culture here in a minute. In the back half of this, has absolutely nothing to do with Judaism. That's like a huge misconception that modern day Israel is the Israel of the Bible. It's fucking not. So no, we're not here to hate people based off their religion. We are talking about nation states and the way nation states are fucking acting on the world stage. That you can be critical of, guys. Hating someone based off their religion, I'm sorry, you're not going to get me on board with that. That's not what we're here for. We're here to criticize the correct things. Okay? You want to just be a fucking racist for no reason, knock yourself out, dude. But I'm a critical thinker who looks at what Israel, the nation, is doing. Not what the fucking religion of a group of people in a secular society feel like. Okay? So come on. Yeah, it's just like the people that like, oh, they're Jews. It's like, have nothing to do with Israel. I know you think that because they get conflated together all the time. Not the case. All right. So get it together. All right. If you want to be critical, do it the right way. All right. Then we got Ken, $2, only 2 months away. Yeah. BB circa the 90s. We're going to talk about that now. This is one of the clips I'm going to pull up. We're actually 2 days away. Did you guys see this on? I'm going to show you on Fox News. We're 2 days away. 2 days away. Oh. Let me show you that, and we're going to talk about that here in a little bit in the video. I didn't realize they're that close, but now according to Fox News, they're 2 days away. Oh, my God. All right, Dano, not the Lions Den, $5. This is America, not a juice boxer, goat herder nation. Actually, I mean, there's tons of Jews and Muslims in America and has been for a long time. I'm much less concerned with people's religion than I am with like socialist and communist countries flooding this fucking country trying to burn it to the ground. Much more concerned with that than I am with their personal religions. You should be too, if you care about America. Ivan G, $2. We have to protect God's chosen ones. Viva Israel. What God? Because the Christian God, Jesus, that I believe in, does not think that they're the chosen people. You know, if you read the New Testament. Yeah, Marxism, much bigger fucking threat, much bigger problem. Although, who was Marxism started by? Well, yeah, we're going to, let's not talk about that, right? Just another whoopsie on that one. All right, Kalishnikov, $2, clean break memo. Question mark, not sure what you mean. But no, I don't give a shit about your skin color, your religion, any of those things. The character, the content of your character is far more important to me. But when we're talking about nation states and governments, that's a completely different thing. Right? JSK, $5. Heard you from the Anti-Hero podcast. Shout out to Brent. Here to stay. Yep. Brent's my boy. Brent is my boy. Tank Killer, $2. Did you see the seismic activity underneath Tehran? Yeah, I did see. Kind of weird. Joe Saunders, $5. Dude, Iran, we are not going to give up anything. Israel, dude, did you not just see our pager and cell phone demonstration? Just saying. Yeah. All right, so let me talk about this real quick, okay? I'm going to give you guys sort of a metaphor way to look at this, okay? Let's say I walked up to you, okay? I walked up to you and I said, hey, look, you've got 2 weeks to leave your house or I'm going to burn it to the fucking ground. And what would you say? Okay, well, no, this is my house. I'm not going to leave and you're not going to burn it to the ground. And I go, okay. And then 2 weeks later, I burn your house to the fucking ground. And then I tell you, I told you I was going to do it if you didn't leave. I gave you a warning. I warned you. Why didn't you leave? Why didn't you leave your home? So my point with this is, and again, I don't have a problem with Donald Trump putting, whatever he wants to put out. But he says to Iran, you've got 2 weeks to come to the negotiating table, completely surrender, right? Give up everything, when Israel basically just killed all their top generals, just killed all their nuclear scientists. From what we've heard last night, tried to take out the Ayatollah. We'll talk about that in a second, the update on that. And, like, do you think the Ayatollah now, being in charge of Iran, can come to the negotiating table after he just got curb stomped into oblivion? If he comes to the negotiating table with his tail tucked between his legs now, what do you think is going to happen to him in Iranian society? He'll lose all credibility. Just like with Saddam, he can't come to the negotiating table now. They did this on purpose. He's basically backed into a corner. There's nothing he can do but ride this one into oblivion. And Donald Trump knows that he's not going to come to the negotiating table. America knows he's not going to come to the negotiating table. But we still gave him a 2-week warning. In 2 weeks, you gotta come and give up everything in unconditional surrender in 2 weeks. Because they won't. We know they won't. And then that way, after 2 weeks, we can go, we warned you. We warned you. You didn't listen. Now we got to bomb the shit out of you. Right? So that's what's going on here, guys. We've already decided that we are going to enter this and obliterate Iran. But now, the way Trump did this, and I'm not even judging him. I think it's a good strategic way to do it. Because now on the world stage, he can look to all the other world leaders and say, I told them, I gave them 2 weeks. I told them. They refused. We had no other option. We had no choice. Knowing the entire time, there's no way he could. Okay. So my opinion on this now, and this might be controversial because it's going to sound like I'm flip-flopping, but my opinion is now, cut the bullshit, dude. Get the fucking B-2 spun up. Get a couple GBU 57s on there. Go obliterate the nuclear facilities. Get it the fuck over with. And let's move on. Why? Because as a conservative, this is not a winning issue for conservatives at all. So if you're going to do it, get it the fuck over with. Get it out of the news cycle. So that way, the 2026 midterms don't absolutely blow up in Republicans' faces. Because at this point right now, we're going to lose probably like 50 fucking seats in the midterms. And let's get focused. Let's get focused on the real issues, which is the border, Marxists and socialists invading our country and burning it to the ground. Okay, that's a real threat to America. Israel hate. We're not hating. This is like the most, you see this shit all the time, guys. We're like, if you're critical of, you guys see this, right? If you're critical of Israel, you're an anti-Semite. You're an anti-Semite. Do you know how intellectually, let's see, who was that? Will. Israel hate is so cringe and low. Do you know how intellectually fucking weak and pathetic you are? I mean, realistically, think about that. That if I criticize a foreign nation state's actions on the world stage in a war, you say, Israel hate is so cringe. You know how intellectually fucking pathetic that is? It's unreal, dude. Because you have nothing else to say. You have nothing to bring to the conversation. You can't critically think for yourself. It's, you shouldn't say that. That's mean. That's anti-Semitic. No, it's fucking not. There's nothing to do. Yeah, it's their tactics, right? It's the easiest way to try to gut your argument from you. And I'm not anti-Israel, comparatively to like Iran or the Middle East or most Islamic nations. I'm not. But this is not in American interest. I am America first. I thought as conservatives that we are America first. Golden Dog says, I bend over for Trump, but I like the show. You're obviously brand new to the show because as a conservative, I'm far more critical of Trump than any other fucking talking head in the space. So you're fucking dumb as well. But yeah. All right. Let's hit some super chats. This is a good. This is the good thing about the lives, guys. And everybody gets upset. They're like, "Don't go for the rage bait." And it's like, no, the rage bait makes it more fun because we get these fucking idiots that come in here and say stupid shit like that, and then I can give my perspective on it. You know what I mean? So that's why we let them continue. All right. Here we go. We got a bunch of super chats we got to hit. Mark Aaron Brewer, $2. Keep up the awesome work, bro. 100% love your channel. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. M. Corbin. Be sure to watch the Team House with Dak and Jave. Jack and Dave. Good one. Dano, not the lion, send $2. America. Whoa, that just moved on me. America is becoming the Babylon of nations. I don't know. Maybe. $2. So should Iran send everything they have now? I mean, do they have much left? They're like, what do they have left? I don't think they got really hardly anything left. Dano, not the Lions Den, $2. It's frequency related as well. 432 versus 440 hertz. I mean, I'm a combo guy and I don't even know what you're talking about. Maybe something out there. Have I seen Ian Carroll's vid on the conflict? Ian Carroll. Is he the scientist dude? I think the dude that does, no, that's Sam Harris. Sam Harris does like the meditation, but then calls for the bombing of anybody that Israel doesn't like. But yeah, there's like this common misconception, like that if, again, we're critical of a nation starting a war, that you're anti-Semitic. It makes no fucking sense, realistically. All right, let's jump into the next one. Oh, this is the good one. Here we go. Iran can build, let's see, within weeks, days, 2 days.
And how maybe in the future, Iran gets so close to a nuclear bomb. Here to discuss it is U.S. former Special Assistant Representative for Iran, Brian Hook. And Brian, if you could just take a look at your monitor, here's a look at what they're saying. If you get a one weapon in 2 or 3 days, you could quickly go to 11, and then in 2 months, 15, 19, 21, 22. But it really all changes with the one, because they have the scientists, they had the material, and then it would be like North Korea. We just would accept it. That's what they were hoping for, and that's pretty significant, don't you think?
Very much so. And Iran now has enough enriched nuclear material for 10 nuclear bombs.
Oh,
right
my
now.
God.
And yeah, right now, yes. They have increased the processing and they've been spinning their 16,000 advanced centrifuges in an escalatory fashion because they are trying to become a nuclear state.
This is important.
You know, this is like, it's much harder to negotiate against a country when they have a nuclear weapon, as we've learned with North Korea. And if Iran were able to acquire a weapon, the Middle East will never be the same.
So there's fissile material.
Okay, check this out. Check this out. Supposedly, think about this, guys. We're gonna break it down. We're going to get the emotions out of it. We're gonna just put on our critical thinking caps. I know for some of you that's impossible to do, but for a lot of the community in the channel, you're good at this, right? Critical thinking caps. Fox News is telling you Iran is 2 days away from having a nuke. 2 days. Now, we could probably do a poll here. If Iran was actually 2 days away from having a nuclear weapon, do you think the United States would have, we're just going to let it happen? We haven't already taken care of this? If it's that close? Really? We're still sitting on our hands? 2 days? Are you sure that objectively makes any actual sense? Like, I don't know. Hold on, we're going to do a poll. Is Iran 2 days from a nuke? Hit it. What do you guys think? 2 days. Oh, boy, scary. Really? 2 days? 2 weeks? I don't know, guys. Something tells me Something tells me we would have already glass parking lotted that whole fucking place if they actually were 2 days. Slight exaggeration. Yeah. You think? All right. Come on. 2 days. And I'm going to talk about something else. Okay? We'll probably see it. We're probably going to see it in this next interview we look at, where supposedly they keep saying, this is what Fox News and the government keep saying, that Iran has he said it right there. They currently, right now, they could build 10 nuclear weapons if they wanted to. But we're also saying that the Ayatollah has not given approval to make the nukes. So, if you believe this, you are being told that Iran, all they want is a nuclear weapon. They are days away. They have been working on it for 30 years, and the Ayatollah won't give them approval for it. Really? That makes sense? That they could build one. We have to stop them from building one. But the Ayatollah we want to regime change won't let them build one? It's what? Does any of that make any fucking logical sense to you guys? At all? Does that narrative, when we put it all together, Iran can build a nuke. They could build 10 right now. They're 2 days away. But also, the Ayatollah said no. No, we're not going to. What? That's fucking crazy. All right, what's the poll say? 89% say no, they are not. 11% said yes, 2 days away. Ooh, that's our Fox News crowd. I don't get it, man. All right. Yeah, like, really? The Ayatollah is like, no. I know we could build them, and I know we want them super bad, and they're 2 days away, but no, we got to pause on this thing. Okay, sure. All right, super chats. We're going to jump into the next interview. It's just, God damn it. Fox News, I used to love Fox News, and now I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? All right, Mike Brown, $5. If the U.S. gets involved or more involved, do you think Iran will become a new Iraq, Syria, or do you think it will be another Jordan? I don't know, man. Regime change is, we don't have a great track record of success. Maybe it'll work this time. I don't know. James Smith, $5. Former National Security Advisor John Bolton was hospitalized for a 5-hour erection after this. Yeah, I posted that meme on my Instagram. Yeah, I know. That's a good one. Papa Penguin, $10. Focusing on the IRGC and limiting avoiding strikes on the Artesh sure looks like an attempt at regime change to me. Destabilization has worked out so well for everyone in the last 30 years. It's worked out, you guys know who destabilization has worked out really, 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 really fucking well for? Do you guys know who's really benefited from that? I'm sure you guys are put it in the chat. Joe Wolf, $20. Thank you, brother. Very, very generous. Appreciate it. Great work, brother. What advice do you have the new recruits given all this crap that's going on? Also wondering why we never rush like this to help out Christians in the Middle East. Yeah, we didn't do it in World War I. We didn't do it in World War II. We don't do it now. That's a fucking 2-hour conversation by itself. I don't know, man. The powers that be that run this country, it is what it is, right? Not as Christian as they pretend to be. Yeah. Advice for new recruits. Here's the deal, man. If you're going to join the military, you may end up doing 20 years. You never fucking know what's going to happen. Okay. You could join during a time when there's no conflict, or World War III could start in 3 years. Like, you don't know. So if you want to serve your nation, sign up. It's a great job. There's no way to tell what's going to happen, man. If you don't want to, don't. That's the best I could do. Don't worry about what might be looming on the horizon, because things change, right? Jeff E., $5. How long does it take for North Korea to send them one with priority shipping? That's another good point. All of the allies, China, Russia, North Korea, all of Iran's closest allies, and yet they don't have a nuclear weapon? when those three countries all do have nuclear weapons? Kind of weird. Marcus Villa, $10. As a Viking, how quickly could you take out Khamenei in a bar fight? How quickly could me, 38-year-old, 6'3", 240-pound Green Beret, take out an 85-year-old man in a bar fight? 3 seconds? What? I think he's 86 fucking years old, bro. What are you talking about? Come on, man. Grand Bear, $5. Thanks, brother. Regime change has worked out great for the World Bank. It's also worked out great for the military-industrial complex, baby. Drop them bombs. Drop them bombs. Keep them coming. You guys know. Lockheed Martin, baby. We should stop complaining about it and start investing in it. You know what I mean? That's the way we should really look at it. Someone, $10, well, another 20 years of GWAT 2.0. I don't think this one's going to cause that, but I don't know for sure. Because we're going to watch General Jack Keane on Fox News. And we're gonna get into the Fox News boomer arguments. The boomers love Israel, right? They do. But we're going to get into that. Just a second. All right, 3 nuts, $10. No comment. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Where do you buy DuPont and Halliburton stock? On the New York Stock Exchange. So, all right, jumping to the next one here. All right, here we go. The ultimate war hawk, General Jack Keane.
Well, first of all, look at Iran's behavior and the language they've used.
We're going to go through this interview.
Years. Their theme is dominating control of the Middle East and the flow of oil out of the Persian Gulf, drive the United States military.
He's saying Iran is the one controlling the flow of oil out of the Middle East. Last I checked, that was the United States that does that. Okay? And we didn't get very far, but we're going to work on this.
Out of the region, so we lose our influence in the region and destroy the state of Israel. Now, when they used to say that, in the early days of the regime back in the 80s, people would roll their eyes and say, well, they're not really serious about that. They are dead serious about it. And acquiring a nuclear.
Okay, so as he said there, they have been saying this since the 80s. Back in the 80s, people rolled their eyes at it. But somehow, it's been 45 years, and it's suddenly different now. Interesting. Let's keep moving.
Nuclear weapon gives them two things.
Here we go.
And the first thing is the destruction of the state of Israel. And
wow.
The state of Israel has to take that existential threat seriously, based on the language and the rhetoric that they've exercised for all these years and their determination to have a weapon. And secondly, it leads to a nuclear arms race if they get a weapon in the region. Henry Kissinger,
What nuclear arms race does it lead to? Israel already has nukes. Again, I'm not defending Iran. I don't want fucking Iran to have nukes. I also don't want Israel to have nukes. I don't want anybody in the Middle East to have nukes. Doesn't make sense. Let's keep moving. This is what people eat this up
after
on this,
a number
right?
of years
All
on the Defense Policy Board, within some 12 years, we actually developed a friendship, which I was honored to have. And he told me, he said, Jack, the most serious challenge in my lifetime that we're facing is not the calamity of World War II. It's Iran having a nuclear weapon and the Arabs acquiring a weapon, obviously, to prevent them using it. And it would likely, given the volatility of that area, lead to the first nuclear exchange in the world.
Well, first of all, the first nuclear exchange in the world was by the United States. So I'm not sure what he means, the first nuclear exchange. Not only that, I don't know if you guys saw, but the United States just announced that using tactical nukes on Iran is on the table. You guys see that today? It was on Fox News. Jesse Waters was talking about it. We're literally talking about nuking Iran right now. The United States government. And let's keep moving. Again, Fox News. It's important to know because we're going to jump into the poll and talk about some things after this. But just this is the guy, right, that all the fucking fear-mongering comes from is guys like this.
So it is in U.S. national interest that Iran not to have a nuclear weapon. Certainly our ally is threatened by it. But the world is threatened by them having a nuclear weapon because of who they are.
Yeah.
This is a diabolical, threatening regime.
How is the entire world threatened? And again, I don't want them to have nuclear weapons. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if they did, right, how is the entire world threatened? They use it one time. One time. I'll hit the super chats here in a second. They use it one time, and their entire country is obliterated by NATO. You know what I mean? Like, what are we fucking talking about here? It objectively doesn't make sense. I think I hit that one already. Oh, no. We got some. Joe Saunders, what's up, brother? $5. Oh, Nate, you are breaking my bank. Iran runs the refinement up to the red line, but they don't cross wide, just saying. I don't know. They do it for China, right? As we were talking about. 3 nuts, $10, no comment. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Shane Hall, $5. Sounds like war profiteering companies are pushing this nuclear narrative because they are itching to make more money. Of course. You got to drop the bomb somewhere, and there's no better place than the desert, baby. That's the reality of it. Who's Lockheed going to sell their shit to if there's no conflicts in the Middle East? Realistically, right? Nate, what's up, man? Good name. $5. Appreciate, brother. Israel's on a roll, man. Watch out, Yemen. Yeah, oh yeah, they're next for sure. We'll fund all this crap. God forbid you're homeless or a homeless veteran and need help. Dano, not the Lion's Den. $5.55 for this. Probably last. Nate has a little pee-pee. Please like and subscribe. If you like no BS truth, GBs make villages. We're going to make it. I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. You'll never know. I wouldn't have a smoking hot wife if I did, though. I'll tell you that. Loco, $2. Do you think the Army is weaker than it was 20 years ago? Our Army, weaker than 20 years ago? Fuck yes, dude. Do I think the United States Army is weaker now than it was in 2005 at the height of sort of the global war on terror in Iraq and Afghanistan? Fuck yes, it's weaker. Extremely. That was probably one of the strongest U.S. militaries you've ever seen. That doesn't mean things can't change. We can't fix it. But no, our military is nowhere near where it was in 2005. Maybe technology-wise, it's a little bit better, right? But not from personnel and experience and all those things. No way. Not even close. All right, hold on. Let's get back to it.
The fact that they're mullahs and clerics is a fraud. These are thugs and killers.
Thugs and
running
killers.
This regime for 45 years.
Yeah, who want nuclear weapons.
Okay, so these are thugs and killers who've wanted nuclear weapons for 45 years. 45 years. 45 years. And they don't have any? That's pretty wild. I mean, I guess. Ivan G says, what's a bigger threat, Iran or the cartels to America? Oh, my God. Great question. That we got to pull. Again, we do democracy on this channel. Even though, America's not a democracy at all. We have it here. Bigger threat. Let's see what the chat says. Cartels or Iran? I'm going to say cartels, illegal immigration. Kind of go hand in hand. Start the poll. Let me know what you guys think. Bigger threat to the United States of America, not our allies. The United States of America. What is the bigger threat currently in 2025? Direct threat. You guys tell me. Okay, while you guys are working that poll, I'm going to jump back into this. I know it's grating. I know it's hard, but we got to see what's being put out.
Weapons. I want to speak to this precise moment in time, and I want to play a clip I heard last night from Rahm Emanuel. He talks about a different moment in the Situation Room. Bill Clinton, 1994, an opportunity the United States.
Every step.
Mr. Wonderful here.
Uh-oh.
My friend Howard Marks is the co-founder of Activision, the gaming giant.
There we go.
That's humanly possible, not only to develop a nuclear weapon, but also they put into this major enterprise, and this is what some people don't get, is the Ayatollah has built an enterprise that's redundant and resilient because he knows at some point it would be attacked. And he wants to absorb that attack, survive it, recover and rebuild. And he is never going to voluntarily dismantle his program with verification because it's gone.
Boom. Said it right there. This is exactly what I just told you. Out of the horse's fucking mouth. The Ayatollah will never agree to dismantle the nuclear program. However, we just said you have two weeks to come to the negotiating table to dismantle your nuclear program. We fucking know they aren't going to do it. That was simply, again, just a means to give ourselves an excuse to join the conflict. Right? I mean, they're saying it there themselves. All right, let's see what our polls come back with. Oh, Jesus. This is our most overwhelming poll yet. 93% of the chat believes that the cartel's illegal immigration are a bigger threat than Iran. Wow, guys. I mean, that's about as one-sided as it gets. And yeah, for good reason, right? Think about it this way. Is Iran responsible for the fentanyl crisis? Is Iran responsible for, I don't know, well, pick your poison of what's going on, homelessness in America? Is Iran responsible for inflation, for the economy being shit? Is Iran responsible for any of these things? I don't know. Maybe we could somehow figure out how they are, but it seems like the cartels in China, there you go, Carlitos, great comment. The cartels in China seem like a way bigger threat to America. And that's my biggest, guys, this is my biggest gripe, okay? I don't give a flying fuck if Israel wants to be in a war with Iran in the Middle East. Fucking have at it, dude. That fucking sandbox, let them all blow each other to shit. I don't fucking care. I want us to focus as Americans on the actual threats in front of our face, which we are not doing. And this is just a distraction. It's a distraction. Look over here. Look over here. Look over here. All right. And we have to stay focused. All right. For GT Sheep Dip, $20. Thank you. Very generous, brother. Milvet brother and son is a senior 18 Charlie. Hell yeah. With fifth group. Wait, Milvet brother is a son and son is a senior 18 Charlie, fifth group. She's going to see him this weekend and stay out for the week. He leaves to go out to work afterwards. Can you give her a shout out? Your Milvet brother. I think you might have mistyped that. I'm trying to figure it out. If that's your daughter that's married to an 18 Charlie, shout out to whoever you're talking about. But I'm trying to figure that out. Somebody will maybe get that for me and what they meant by that in the chat. That was a little bit confusing. But anyway, second half of the show. Oh, military vet. Gotcha. Milvet. Oh, and son is a senior 18 Charlie with fifth group. She's going to see him. I'm a little bit confused. But shout out to either your son, your daughter, whoever. Which is the gayest special forces group? Well, I mean, first group, if you want to like talk like actual like having sex with biological men, you know, I mean, Thailand and Philippines is a thing. So I don't know, probably first group. I mean, maybe that's kind of fucked up to say. I probably should maybe been like more candid about that, but there's probably more of that happening in first group than any other group. I don't know. That's a weird way to respond to that since I'm a first grouper, but hey, you know, I've seen some buddies do some whoopsies in my time in Thailand and the Philippines. It is what it is. Whoa, shit. Didn't realize. That's why we have a running joke in first group that fucking sometimes a Green Beret just needs a little stick time. That's what a famous quote from our group sergeant major at one point. You know, I don't know. It is what it is. First groupers are fucking weird. Okay, let's just be honest. I'm well aware of that. I know. Yeah. Okay, we're spiraling. Let's fucking bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back into professionalism and not talk about sex with ladyboys. Okay, let's. Oh, and the channel is demonetized. Thank you everybody for that. So this episode is immediately demonetized based off of this conversation. Thank you all for that. But, you know, it is what it is. We're not here to make money. We're here to have fun. So, Nicholas Go, yeah, or I'd be way more professional if that was the goal, right? Nicholas Go, $5. Do you think we'd go to war with China anytime soon? What's your thoughts on them? War with China, direct conflict with the United States? No. Proxied? Yes. Taiwan? Maybe. Probably not. There's a ton of different ways to look at it. I know. I see all the laughing emojis in the chat. We got to get back to professionalism. Okay, we spiraled a little bit, but we got to bring it back. All right. How do I sign up for first group? You don't. You got to basically go become a Green Beret and hope for the best. That's the way it works. Okay. Jesus Christ. Hold on. Where were we going to go with this from here? Let's talk about this. Fox News. Here's the poll I was talking about earlier, guys. I've been looking at things, and as you see here, do you think, this is from Fox News, do you think Iran poses a real national security threat to the United States? According to Fox News, almost 75% of people in America think this. Okay. All the polls I've seen on every other channel, from Charlie Kirk to James and Travels to what we've done here, it's a complete opposite. All right. So the question is, why the fuck is this rhetoric nonstop, specifically just on Fox News? Again, I don't have anything against Fox News, right? But I'm about to show you why. Okay. Yeah, let's just take a look at this. Okay. So when we talk about Fox News and neocons, right? Like, you guys understand Fox News is not a news organization for conservatives. Everybody, do we have any conservatives? We should probably do a poll. Another poll. We love polls we love polls. We have the greatest polls. We have the greatest polls on the chat, right? So we're going to do political leaning. And you're only going to get two choices just to make this easier. Political leaning. Conservative. Liberal. Right? I'm not judging you either way. I just want to know. While we do that, real quick, fill my glass. Be right back. All right. So everybody complaining that I had a drink. Now you're really going to be upset because we've had one drink. Oh no, starting on the second. Now we're really going to get controversial. All right, let's see what our votes have to say. Oof, okay, 88, 12, 88, 12. Independent's fine. I just mean, which way do you lean? Which way do you lean? Okay, you could be center right, center left, far right, far left. Just in general, which way you lean. That's all I really care about. '90s Democrat. If you're a '90s Democrat, you're basically center right now. Okay. All right. So obviously, majority conservative. Got it. Yeah. Just because you lean that way doesn't mean you're like hardcore right, hardcore left. I just want to know. So my point with this is, okay, we got 88% conservative leaning in the chat, which means Fox News should be the news outlet that our viewers here, our community, watches for their content, right? Fox is the right-leaning news organization, okay? However, as you all know, there is a huge difference between conservatives and neocons. And neocons control Fox News, and that's what Fox News does. Lindsey Graham's and Ted Cruz's and General Jack Keane's, right? Not news, yeah, and like there's a bunch of different like actual conservative news outlets and liberal news outlets, right? But that's the neocon network. And so my point with this, and trust me, so I'm going to wrap this all into a big thing. Okay, we're establishing a demographic that watches Fox News. This is the whole point. Okay, so Fox News is not extreme right, dude. Fox News is neocon fucking center. Okay, no, Fox News is not far right. The far right is adamantly against this conflict. All right, let me hit the super chats, and then I promise we're gonna get there. All right, I got a point to all this with the next things we're going to look at. Ken, $2 says tech made us weaker as a military. Not necessarily. In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. Good question. That would be like a deep dive. I'd have to get into that one to really sort of do it. We don't have time for it right now, but good question. Yes and no. Crappy Jay. Iran doesn't have nukes and Pakistan is a bigger threat to the USA, but we look the other way. Imagine why that is. Well, because Pakistan has nukes, and we're not going to do anything about it. Is what it is, right? Good point. Joe Schmo, $5. If a civil war occurs in the UK, do you think DJT would provide aid and support to the British regime? No, why would we? Like, what fucking, like, what is left in the UK to fight for? It's New Baghdad at this point. Like, that shit's gone, dude. Long gone. Sorry, if you live in Europe, yeah, that shit's long fucking gone. Once you hit 30% of your population, you're fucked. And they're pretty much there. Okay, my point. My point with this, guys, coming up with the demographic. Who is the demographic that supports neocons? Joe Moya, $5 says, why are you so mad, bro? Do I seem mad? Guys, chat, do I seem mad right now? Do I seem emotionally distraught? Do I seem emotionally upset right now? Anybody? Is that what I'm giving off? Interesting comment. But thanks for giving me money out of your, you worked for. Appreciate that. All right. So who is the demographic that supports neocons? You guys know? Old people? Yep. Yep. Old, and no knock. I mean, this, like, people like my parents, not my mom, but, my dad, like boomers, neocons, they love Israel, right? Nothing wrong with that necessarily. They love Fox News. Okay. But we're going to work into something, though. All right. So when we talk about Fox News and, the neocon establishment, well, let's look at our politicians. This is the Republican primaries, guys, for president. Not Trump, but the rest of them. Let's take a look.
Semitism all over our college campuses.
We will stand with Israel.
To support Israel with whatever they need, whenever they need it. It is not that Israel needs America. America needs Israel.
The founding vision of Israel. America is here, no matter what it is you need at any time, to preserve the state of Israel.
With a question from Matthew Brooks, the CEO of the Republican Jewish Coalition.
Jewish students across the country are threatened.
Surge in anti-Semitism across this country. Anti-Semitism.
Any campus that allows for anti-Semitism, you should lose your federal funding today. I would deport you.
No, it's the anti-Semitism that's spiraling out of control. Jewish students and synagogues.
Anti-Semitism is just as awful as racism. The Jewish people
providing Israel with the $14 billion that they need. We are 100% undeniably standing shoulder to shoulder with Israel.
When we make sure that we have the backs of our friends, whether it's in Israel.
Anti-Semitic, horrible stuff. Making sure that Israel, that Israel situation, Israel must be defended.
On behalf of the Republican National Committee and all of us at NBC News, good night, everyone, from Miami. Hours for a serious debate.
Oh, my God. That was the Republican primaries for president of the United States. What? Like, what the fuck was that? You start to think about it. That was the Republican primaries for the president of the United States. And that was like sped up at like 3x speed to get through that in like a minute, which is just fucking crazy, right? But all bought and paid for politicians, we're going to get into something even here. Again, I told you we were pulling on threads here, okay? I promise you we're getting to it. It's going to get real interesting. This is going to be, these flags are going to become real important to protect the channel here in about 5 minutes. I promise you. All right. I'm working a thread for you guys. All right. But as we're all on the edge of our seats, we're going to give a shout out to our partners on the channel. Yes. Tasty Gains. You already know. Official partner of the channel, now sponsoring the live chats. All right, Tasty Gains creatine gummies. This is what I take for creatine. We're talking about supplementations, my fitness. If you guys want to get in actual shape, like the big boy here, all right, you got to get your supplementation right. Creatine, what's it going to do for you? Muscle gain, endurance, injury recovery, hydration, all those different things. It's great for your brain. Men, women, teenagers, it's good for everybody. All right, Tasty Gains, it's great because it's gummies. All right, I'll show you guys. Pineapple's my favorite. You just take 3 of these a day. They taste fantastic. You don't got to have gritty shit. I'm not slurring my speech at all, brother. I've had 1 drink. I'm 240 pounds. Good try, though. Go ahead and ban Ricky. Jasmine, you see Ricky there? Ban him in the chat. That's what you're going to get. All right, back to our regular scheduled promo here. Okay, no, not kidding, guys. I actually do. I love Tasty Gains. I hate having to chug a bunch of fucking water for creatine, pre-workout, my protein, everything. 3 of these a day. Super easy. Switch to it. Everybody I know that's taking it loves it. Also, pre-workout. All right, guys, energy drinks. I've given up energy drinks because of these pre-workout gummies. 200 milligrams of caffeine in every single gummy. Guys, I take these for workout. I take them for regular caffeine, anything like that. So I'm going to put Tasty Gains link in the chat. And guys, honestly, they get an amazing review from the community. Everybody that actually goes and gets these constantly talks in the comment section about how good they are. They're great. I take them. DJ Shipley takes them. John Shrek McPhee takes them. Brent for the Anti-Hero podcast. Also, guys, they've been supporting the channel longer than anyone else. They were the very first company that sponsored me when I had like 10,000 subscribers before anybody else did. So again, they've been the biggest supporter of the channel, so we should support them too. All right, so I'll put my link in the chat here, and make sure you guys get over there and support them. All right, they're awesome fucking dudes. Obviously, look who they sponsor, dude. A bunch of fucking pro America soft operators, right? That's their thing. So we'll pin that. And go buy yourself some, right? Get your creatine, get your pre-workout. And it's also, the pre-workout's super cheap. It's like $30 for a month's worth. All right. Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, everybody that takes it loves it. Yes, they partnered with the channel. Yes, they support the channel, but I also know shit. This is the supplements I take. Uh-oh, VFT raid. Who's here? Do we get somebody here from a different place? All right. Hit some super chats. And then again, we're going to get down this neocon boomer Israel politician thread that we keep pulling. All right. All right. Gabe says $5. Were you stationed in Okinawa? I did 16 of my 25 years there. Yes, brother. In the last 3 years of my career, so 2020 to 2023, a little over 3 years, I was in 1-1. So I was at Tory Station with First Group. Yeah, Oki's awesome, man. And then Ken, $2 said, say both parties are bought. Yes, they are. A lot like Vegas, $2. The left-right poll is split, the same as the Iran poll. Kind of, I guess. After seeing the world turn evil this way even more lately, time to eat some mushrooms and watch Natural Born Killers. Sound like my wife, dude. She's into the serial killer documentaries. She's probably going to murder me someday. If I ever don't show up for these lives and you find out I'm dead, it's probably because she axed me. But, you know, that is what it is. All right. Now, let's continue. I promise we're going to get back into where we were going with this. And again, got the flag up in the chat because it's going to get real weird here in a second. All right, so you might be asking yourself, why the fuck at the Republican primaries for the president was there a fucking 2-minute long rant about how bad we need to support these guys? Why? I don't know. Let's take a look at this clip. This clip was very, very interesting when I saw it, and very creepy. You guys may have seen this. I'm usually not a big fan of Cenk, but this is a very important clip. All right, so we're going to watch this.
And anyone who gets in the way, it doesn't matter where they are, even if they are politicians in the West, they are going to fall because we cannot afford.
Hold on. Did you hear what he just said? He threatened politicians in the West that if they don't agree with Israel's war against Iran, that they're going to fall. And remember, he's an Israeli agent. Are you saying Israel will murder politicians in the West or get rid of them politically through bribery or whatever else? What do you mean the politicians in the West will fall if they don't agree to back Israel's war against Iran?
Yeah, we will not vote for them anymore.
Oh, no, well, you don't vote for them now. You're not in our country.
Look at that smile.
What do you mean the politicians will fall?
We live in democracy, and we have the right to bring them up and to bring them down. Those who agree with Ayatollah, we don't want them in office. And all the sympathizers with terrorists like yourself, we don't want them even to be in our country.
Who is we, and how are you bringing down politicians in the West if they dare to defy Israel? Tell me how you're bringing them down.
I already answered you that.
Are you going to murder them, or are you going to bribe them? Or are you going to bribe someone else? Who are you going to do it?
That's fucking crazy. Yeah.
Program is going to be destroyed.
Talk about our politicians. And then you see, yeah, Borat, that is good. I know, like, that's kind of a funny skit-ish, but it's also not funny, right? When you really think about it. When he's like, if you don't do what Israel wants, we'll handle it. Okay, that's fucking yikes, right? And here's the other thing. Why is that important? Freaking BS. Is it BS? Because let's talk about Mossad and how fucking good Mossad is at what they do. We've talked about this before. The strike that was carried out that removed all of Iran's generals, they got them all basically co-located in one place, knew where everything was. They know where the Ayatollah is at all times. They are fucking good. There is no arguing how good Mossad is at what they do. Like, they are fucking amazing. So you're trying to tell me that a Mossad agent like that saying, if U.S. politicians don't do what we tell them to do, we'll take care of it. That's fucking creepy. Especially after I just showed you guys. Do we need to watch the Republican primaries for president again? All of those political candidates that went on a huge rant? Do we see some things? Right? They're kind of like, well, okay, whoa. Also, that dude's fake. No, he's not. Also, let me explain this to you. All right? Israel is allowed, Mossad is allowed to freely spy on America as an ally. They've been caught doing it before, and all that happens is they are deported back to Israel. There is no punishment for it. They're freely allowed to do it. So, I'm just saying. Now, let's connect these things, okay? So we went over sort of like, you know, the neocon, boomer, Fox News. Obviously, 80% say we got to bomb Iran, we got to enter the conflict. Look at the politicians that are basically are the front face of that same group of neocons, right? But the question then is, why? Why do boomers and neocons and MAGA, right, love this so much? Do they know anything about actual Israeli secular society? Do you guys? You may, and this is why I showed this at the very start, the very, very start of the episode, because this was
organization. Hopefully he was just reelected. He's a phenomenal patriot and a Zionist. Do you believe the love that America has for Israel?
Look at the flags.
Amazing Am Israel, an amazing Medinat Israel, and thank you God.
And we hear everywhere in the world that everybody hates Israel. This is love.
Love. Only
This
love.
is love.
Only love. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay. We talk about actual society. One sec. I almost want to do a poll for this because it might blow your mind. Let me type it in here. I forgot to bring this up. All right. So we're going to ask you guys, what percentage, let me pull this up in a poll. We'll go 1, 2, add option, 5, 10 plus. Here's the question, everybody. Let's send it and see what you guys think. Now, this is kind of an interesting one to talk about, right? Overall society. And if this was a super religious society, you would think this would be an easy answer. What do we think? Let's let them pour in. Let them pour in. I don't have any problem with it. I'm just saying, when we're talking about, again, I'm going to tie all this shit together. Okay? We're talking about the boomer, elderly, neocon, MAGA demographic. What do they not support? Right? Woke shit. Rainbow stuff. They hate it, right? They're the most outwardly against it of anybody. All right. But again, we talked about Israel, again, is a secular society. And they're not what people think for the most part. And there's nothing wrong with that. I have personal no judgments. Let's see what everybody's got to say about this. All right, from the poll, 23% of the chat thinks 1%, 2% at 12%, 5% at 11%, 10+%, which would be insane, right? Like statistically, over 1 in 10 people that wouldn't even make sense in a society, right? Statistically, that doesn't even make sense. However, I'm going to end the poll there. However, that actually is the case. All right. So these numbers are actually probably about the lowest you'll find. But it says a study found Israelis aged 18 to 44, approximately 8.2% of men, 5% of women identify. Another study indicated that about 3% identify exclusively, while 30%, 30% identified somewhere on the bisexual spectrum. 30%. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that? 30%. Again, no judgment. That's straight from fucking Google. Like, again, and those are actually low indicated numbers. Right? Now, again, I told you I'm going to pull all these threads. I'm going to put it all together. If 30+% of that society identifies as LGBTQ, again, nothing wrong with that. Do you think if the neocon Fox News boomers knew that statistic, what do you think that they would do with their support? Think about that. Does that actually make sense? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Again, no knocking it from my end. Right? If you want to have 1/3 of the people in your country identify as with the rainbow, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying there is no other place in the world that has those numbers. That's fucking shocking. When I was presented that information, I was also blown away. Like 1 in 3? 1 in 3. That's crazy. So my point with that is, again, whatever. Like, again, I don't care. I'm actually very socially liberal. I really don't care about your sexuality. Nothing wrong with it. I'm not super browbeater. I'm not. I'm just saying it's interesting statistic that when we talk about the demographic that supports them more than any other demographic in America, okay, is the boomer, Fox News, neocon, 60 to 80-year-old demographic. That's the biggest support, but yet that's what's going on in that society. I think there's some disconnect. I think if Fox News were to show those statistics, I think if Jesse Waters were to come out and show exactly what I just showed, there might be some shift. You guys think there might be some shift in support? What do you guys think? You think they think if they were presented that information, some things might change? Now, let's try this. Let's see if there even data for this. There probably isn't. We're going to try to pull this up. Oh, yeah, there's not even data. I was going to pull up what percentage of Iran identifies. Based on available information, it's difficult to determine the exact percentage, so basically they don't know. Right? So it's obviously not the same. But again, I'm just saying, guys, look, I'm not passing judgment at all. I'm not. I am just saying that when we look at the support from specific demographics in this country for a society that does not necessarily conform to the values of that demographic that supports them, it doesn't make a whole lot of objective sense. Right? I'm just saying. Okay? I know a lot of people are like, God damn, dude, what the fuck? 1 in 3? What? That's from Google, homies. And Google ain't right wing. Okay? Again, no judgment. Do whatever you want with your life. I'm just saying it's a very, very odd support system. All right? All right, so what I want to do before we wrap up, I want to shift gears, all right? We've been heavily focused on this. 1 in 3 is crazy as fuck. Yeah, it's fucking crazy, dude. It makes no sense. I probably missed some super chats real quick. Jonathan Segura, $10. I used to work at IWI when I lived in Pennsylvania. It was a fun job, but most like gun manufacturers' products are overhyped. IWI. What's IWI? Not tracking IWI. Somebody put it in the chat. Joe Saunders, $5. Dude, I don't care who you go home with or remember to try and do your job, protect your team. Just saying. Yeah, I don't care. Socially, I literally don't care. I'm just saying. Very odd. Right? You would think that the American left would be the ones that massively think about. Let's break this down. let's break this down. Who does the American left support between in the Middle East? Who do the American left with the flags, with everything? Who do they support more than anyone? Let's think about how crazy this shit actually is, right? Let's really break down how fucking crazy all this is. Who does the American left support in all of this? Palestine. Right? Which is what religion? Right? Yeah, so the American left, the party of the rainbow flag, they support the Sharia law culture that hates everything the American left stand for. Now, who does the neocon right support? Who did we just identify? Who does the neocon right support? They support these guys who actually have the same societal beliefs as the American fucking left. Are we starting to see how fucking none of this makes any objective sense at all? Is it just me? Am I crazy to look at these things and go, what the fuck is what? Totally backwards. You're right. It makes, I know a lot of you right now are listening to me going, and actually this is the first time you've kind of like, not everybody, but this is the first time a lot of you have like kind of realized culturally what's going on, and you're like, what in the fuck is going on? Oh, we got Jameson Travels in the chat. My boy Jameson. Hell yeah. What's up, Jameson? We love Jameson here on the channel. But I mean, it fucking makes no sense, guys. So when you see well, actually, you know who it does make sense with? All right, hold on. This is who it makes sense with. This fucking guy. All right, this actually makes sense. Right? If we think about it. So the mass support for the society that is 1 in 3, it does actually make sense that this guy loves them so much. Right? When we think about it, it kind of does make sense for him. Just specifically for him. I could see, hold on, I got to see if I can find this meme I had it a long time ago. Let's see if I can pull this up. Here we go. Also makes sense for this gentleman right here. Do you guys get this meme now? A lot of people didn't understand this meme when it first came out. Now doesn't this meme make a lot more sense? You guys get it? That's a real meme right there. I'm just saying. All right. This meme kind of makes sense now, right? Am I wrong? Right? I'm just saying. All right. All right. One. We're going to leave that up there. I'm going to leave this up for another 10 seconds just because it's so good. All right. Dan Crenshaw just catching fucking strays out of nowhere on the channel today. Random stray. Just, oh shit. Sorry, Danny boy. All right, blue $5. The left supporting Sharia law is a whole Black Mirror episode. I'm telling you, dude, it's both ways though. The left supports Sharia law, the right supports the party of the rainbow, dude. It's fucking crazy. I don't know. It's back ass words, but it is what it is. It's what we got. Oh, Israeli weapon industries. Interesting. Thank you, brother. All right. Last thing we're going to do, an hour and 49 minutes, these lives. Guys, I'm struggling to... I feel like I should just give up on the idea that these lives are going to take an hour. That's been my goal. It's like, hey, we're going to have the 1 hour show. We just fucking nowhere near it every single time. But it is what it is. You guys seem to be enjoying yourselves. So we're going to keep going. All right. We're going to cover one more thing. This was supposed to be like 45 minutes ago that we got to this. Jameson is one of the smartest YouTube content creators. Yeah, Jameson is probably, when it comes to YouTube, the fucking most brilliant dude I've ever met. And thank God, because he mentors me. So yeah. So shout out to Jameson for that. Me and him talk pretty much every day. All right, Kangaroo Bot, $10. Hey, Nate, other than what's available on the internet, are there any books that provide more depth knowledge on Israel and Iran's touchy history? Not books, man. Google's your friend. The problem is, like, digging through history that's not really true. That's the hard part, right? Because you know how history is written. Any books? I don't think so, man. Not books. But yeah. All right. Jalapeno Prepper, $2. Lindsay was a rear admiral in the Navy. I wish I could say that that's a good joke. It is a good joke, but that dude would never fucking serve. He is the biggest fucking war hawk. Send your sons and daughters to the front lines for America. Never himself, right? Which I hate more than anything. All right, so somebody says Eddie Gallagher was swole AF on Anti-Hero last night. I've talked to Eddie once or twice. Seems like a really nice guy. Sounds like a dude I would have liked to work for myself. So I got nothing bad to say about Eddie. Especially when it comes to the whole Danny Boy interaction with him. All right, so last thing we're going to talk about, we're going to shift gears a little bit. I know that we've been so hyper-focused on outro by Ye. Yeah, we'll actually get the channel banned for that. We've been so hyper-focused on, this conflict. Jimmy Yankee says, why do you hate Israel so much? I don't. I'm just not a fucking idiot, dude. Please, go look in the fucking mirror and reevaluate your intellectual capacity. If in 2025 you have access, think about this, guys. All right, 2002, the internet barely knew, access to information is not what it is. It is 2025. You have access to all the information in the world. And that's your comment. Think about that. You are at the peak of fucking human society in intellect and information sharing. And that's your take. Holy fuck, dude. Could you guys imagine having a brain that fucking bad? That bad. Your brain is that bad that you're like, Fox News didn't tell me that this was true, so fuck, it can't be. This guy hates Israel. Oh my God. Imagine being that fucking brain dead. In 2025. Fucking Google, bro. ChatGPT. You are willingly being dumb as fuck. Oh my God, dude. It blows my fucking mind, dude. Just Jesus. Oh my God. Okay. You gotta relax. I am not anti any country. I am pro the United fucking States of America. That's it. If it is not in the best interest of the fucking country that I am a citizen of, I don't give a fuck about it. Is that complicated of a take? Am I that far off? And it's not like if you lived in fucking Venezuela and you were hyper focused on things important to Venezuela, good. I'm an American fucking citizen. I live in America. I care about fucking America first. I don't give a fuck about all these other goddamn fucking countries that have been sucking on the fucking tit of America for the last 100 years that have done nothing for you, me, and the future of our children. Right? Fucking nothing. No, I don't have any fucking patience for it. I don't give a fuck if you think I don't like X country. Okay? Got it? Pound fucking sand, dude. And with that, we're going to swap this because it's fun. But now we're doing it for real. Stand by. Now, this is what you get. Suck America's dick, bitch. How about that? That's what I got for you, bud. All right. Let me hit these super chats. We still got one more thing I got to get into. Because we're spiraling. All right. Kangaroo bot, $10. Oh, no, we got that one already. Can you be at Masab's ass? Can I be at Masab's ass? I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're saying, man. What do you mean? Can I be at Masab's ass? Oh, maybe. I don't know. Sounds like a first group thing. Just saying. Yep, now we're full in it. Bam. Now, let's talk about America. Let's talk about the American military. Nate about to get demonetized. Man, these lives are always demonetized. I'm not going to get demonetized. Well, I'll get demonetized on these individual videos, but for being pro-America, and fucking it is what it is, dude. I am pro-LGBTQ and pro-America, so I'm good to go. We're fine here. That's the only thing that matters if you hear on social media. Actually, that's probably what we should do. If we want to really have protection, like actual social media protection from these big companies, this is the way to do it. I'll show you guys. There we go. Wait, how do I get this? I got to get this all the way up. Here we go. Here we go. And then we're going to hit this last section of the video. All right. This will 100% keep us safe. Yep. Now we're good. This is the ultimate fucking shield right here. Here we go. That's the ultimate shield. All right, so we are good. Let's hit this last one, which we were going to talk about. I don't know if this is true or not, but there has been reports. I've seen a couple videos on this that yeah, the comment section's losing their mind. Hey, we're allies here. Okay? We are allies here. Knock it off, chat. Knock it off. Knock it off. Okay? We're allies. Now, we're going to talk about how supposedly the Department of Defense is banning doing TikToks for personal clout in uniform. Have you guys heard this? Have you guys heard about this? There was a memorandum put out. We're going to take a look at it. If this is true, God fucking bless. Oh my God. Oh my God, the chat's losing their mind. Holy shit. All right, I think I broke the chat with that one. It's staying up, boys. I'm sorry, we need the protection. All right, where do you see America in 20 years? I don't know. It's going to be a lot more of that, probably. I don't really see how we get out of it. I don't know. All right, so let's take a look at this. Let me pull this up. Let me find it. We've gone through so many tabs today. All right, so Nikki MGTV put out a video with a memorandum talking about this, guys. So here we go. Here's some of the famous influencers.
Yes, I think that we are seeing a shift in culture in what you would say is the military influencer sphere. And
I haven't watched this, guys. I wanted to watch this live with you.
The scope or magnifying glass is maybe just becoming a little bit more real as people are believing that the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, has officially ruled some rules on the social media policy of doing things while in uniform. Now, this memorandum did surface only a little bit ago, and everybody was reading it thinking and everybody was rejoicing from this memorandum, and they were like, okay, this is awesome. It says from the Department of...
All right, again, I haven't seen this yet. But I can tell you right away, as someone who's written a lot of fucking memorandums in my time, this is not what a military memorandum looks like. This is not an official memorandum. I can tell you right out the gate, just from the formatting, from the way it works. All right, so we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully there's some explanation about this, because
Defense has a seal on the top right of it as well, and says Office of Military Standards and Ethics,
not what the real seal looks like.
Memorandum for immediate release. Subject: restriction on unauthorized use of military uniform on social media. Bottom line up front: effective immediately, all service members are prohibited from posting content in uniform for personal branding, monetization, entertainment, or social media growth without explicit written approval from the unit's public affairs officer. Rationale: the military uniform is not a costume. It is not your brand. It is a symbol of national service, sacrifice, and collective duty. Using it to build a following, chase internet clout, or promote personal narratives is a direct
this is great information. I wish this was true, but this is not a real memorandum. I can tell you just by the formatting.
All social media posts featuring the military uniform must serve an official mission, public education, recruitment, or formally approved command initiatives. Content must be reviewed and cleared by the public affairs officer prior to publishing. Service members who
the memo's awesome, but it's not.
Without public affairs officer
this memo isn't real.
Subject to UCMJ action under Article 92, which is failure to obey order or regulation. Influence is earned through leadership and performance,
Pete
not
Hegseth,
engagement metrics. This is
with no signature block, no official digital stamp, nothing. Just typed in.
The real professionals are too busy training, leading and defending this nation to care about your algorithm. Signed, Pete Hegseth. Now, the craziness of this is there are top enlisted leaders that have talked to their juniors saying that this is real.
I saw this getting sent around. One of my buddies sent me this. That's active duty.
This being real or not. And I'm like, this is crazy how information is being released, because as you've seen, a lot of things have been announced on X, Twitter formerly, and things like that, where essentially the way we get our news or information is kind of through things that are through this device.
It'd be interesting to see what he says.
It has actually led to a lot of people thinking this is real. Let's debunk this. First off, this is not how memorandums do look like if they're going to be released. On top of that, you do not see a signature on here, where if you look at any other memorandum that has been signed by anybody in the chain of command, it is having a pen signature on there. So you should have had your red flags going, but I feel like having a little bit of information literacy is important when talking about where you find sources of information. And obviously people have believed this because there are other people that have also said that this is real. That's because the original poster said, no S, because my first sergeant is running around posting this in the company's group chats. And someone said below that, I need to teach your first sergeant class.
Your first sergeant is sharing this with people. Like your first sergeant's filling out memorandums more than fucking anybody. And you look at that and go, that's not a real memorandum. Like with Pete Hegseth just typed. Now, I want this to be real. I do. I want this to be real because it would be fucking amazing. But again, like I said, the memorandum itself, yeah, it obviously was fake.
And they actually showed a screenshot of one of the group chats and says, below it says, pass the lowest level and shout it from the rooftops. About time. And it's from somebody that is a first sergeant. Now, I've been wanting to talk about this because this has been something that the Department of Defense has obviously already released, kind of honing in on social media policy over the past couple of years, essentially, where the most recent one that I've seen was for the Navy, where they actually had required service members to be advised. The critical word was advised not to talk about military policy, any of that stuff, while in uniform. And obviously, I think that's because people have been caught getting in trouble talking about things they shouldn't be while wearing the uniform. And there's a very specific guidance of not correlating or confusing that. Now, however, there were comments that brought this into play that I was like, this is very interesting to pick out. And it's the top one. This person, Academic Seaweed, says, first the thick Latinas, now they're going after the PSYOPs. No one is safe. Now, I want to kind of bring this up.
Hold on. Go back.
Latinas,
first, they're going after the thick Latinas. Now they're going after, I know you guys can't see that. First, they're going after the thick Latinas. Now they're going after the PSYOPs.
Now they're going after the PSYOPs. No one is safe. Now, I want to kind of bring this up because what we've seen in a lot of instances is, you know, when social media and the military came together first, what you saw was a lot of informational influencers talking about the military and then talking about the perks, the benefits, like vlogging day in the life, like think of Nava the Beast, you know, and things like that, where now we're kind of seeing some of this like short clip stuff on like shorter video form on TikTok and Instagram, and even live streaming kind of thing going on, and that's a whole chaos. But you know, I can tell you, I've actually seen other creators talk about this, like Meat Canyon. If you guys don't watch him, he made an entire video kind of talking about the PSYOPs thing of Hey Luhan and various others.
That girl's a real PSYOP.
I'm like,
no. Okay, let me pause. So you guys, have you guys seen this girl? Hold on, let's get to her. Get a closer picture. Have you seen her? You guys know this girl from, I'm sure you've seen her on social media. We'll talk real quick about actual PSYOP. I'm sure you guys have seen her, right? She's got a huge channel. She's like a specialist or some shit. So I didn't know this. I found this out the other day. I think maybe me and Jameson were talking about it. Maybe not. I was talking to one of my buddies about this. So she legitimately actually is sponsored and gets paid by the Department of Defense as a recruiting PSYOP. Legitimately. She's the only one that's confirmed for sure, actually fucking paid for and sponsored by the DOD to try to bring in recruitment. She's a legitimate recruitment PSYOP. That's like not a fucking joke. That's like actually 100% confirmed. The rest, obviously, you know, the big booty Latinas in uniform and all that shit, right? Like, we don't know. This one legitimately is fucking paid for and sponsored by the DOD. Okay? That's not a fucking joke. She really is. You know, whatever. I mean, I don't judge them. I don't knock them for it. It gets fucking dumbass 18-year-olds like me when I was 18 to join. It is what it is. She's a legit 37 Fox. Yeah, she's real, but she's also she's paid by the DOD to do that shit. Which, cool, good for her, right? Make that money. But, yeah, also, fuck. Joe Saunders, $5. Dude is a wannabe Hegseth or Hookstead? What do you mean? Who's a wannabe Hegseth or Hookstead, Joe? Must have missed that. Marco Vila, $5. She's hot. Yeah, I mean, that's the entire point of a military recruitment PSYOP is to be hot. That's the entire point, guys. You know, like, it's absolutely what they're trying to do. All right. We are over 2 hours at this point. Holy shit. Covered a lot of things today. Woof. A lot of controversial stuff. Obviously, as you can see, we spiraled out of control. This is where we ended up at the end of the 2 hours. Which, again, we are hardcore allies on this channel. obviously, like everybody in this channel. I bet I could do a poll. One final poll. Just to show you guys. All right, here we go. I'm just going to show everybody in the community how strong allies we are. Start the poll. So again, huge allies here on the channel. Nothing wrong with that. We love the community. We are strong allies of both Israel and this community. We'll never stop fighting for them. We'll never stop, leading the charge, bringing equality, DEI. That's what we do on this channel. Again, I know you guys support it. My supporters support it. I support it. Let's get those flags up in the chat, everybody. As we wrap this one up, nobody's a stronger ally than we are. Except for the neocon boomers, apparently. But we're right there behind. I'm going to let these funnel in. And then we're going to wrap it up with this final poll. Look at that. Told you guys, majority of the channel, majority of the community, hardcore allies. Thank y'all for just being so open-minded on this channel. I'm just honestly grateful and proud that we have the community that we have here today. We've built this community over about a year and a half now. The lives have been doing great, and one love, right? That's what we're all about on this channel. Unlike the left, who supports, the hardcore Sharia law shit, not us on this channel. This is what we're all about. Okay? Love it. Thank you all. All right, let's cut this poll off. Crushing it. Resounding support. Couple more super chats. Then we're jetting. Ali G, $5. Nate Mom, you keeps it real all the way from the bottom to the top. Never forget. Vision Quest brother. Hell yeah, brother. We got the flags in the chat. Everybody's going, all right, hey, thank you all for coming out. These lives have just been fucking out of control. We're going to keep doing them because you guys keep showing up. The channel's growing at a crazy rate. Thank y'all. I don't know why you guys show up to watch me fucking rant and be out of control, but I love that you guys do. We got an amazing community here. Other than, the few dipshits that we get a riff on. Thank God for the dumbasses in the chat. Makes everything more fun. I love y'all too. And yeah, we're gonna Sunday, guys, Sunday. So me and Jake Swag, Navy SEAL versus Green Beret, we've not been able to do this show for like 4 or 5 weeks, I think, at this point, because just scheduling and the way it works. Me and Jake are back Sunday, 12 Pacific time. I want you all to show up for that because, again, me and Jake together, more unhinged than me by myself, all right? So make sure you show up. We're finally back after like 5 weeks. Oh, also, I'm going out to see Jake and also Jared Taylor from Black Rifle Coffee Company in San Antonio, Texas here in a couple weeks. We're going to be doing a bunch of content out there together, looking at buying a house out there, and then potentially starting some real live podcasts with a bunch of fucking... We're going to get a real pod. Here's the plan. Before I break this down, here's what's going on. I do this show from my fucking office in a house that's too small in Oregon. So what we're looking at doing is not moving necessarily, but buying a house out in San Antonio, north of San Antonio, in between Austin and San Antonio, building out a full podcasting studio to where I can start actually having a real podcast, bringing in fucking all the boys, all the guests, anything from famous comedians, which I'm friends with, that are ready to go on this, to all your favorite soft vets. We're going to have a real podcast. You guys apparently like to see me fucking out of control in the podcast setting. We're going to do it for real. We're working on that. We're heading out there in 2.5 weeks, and then we're going to have a real podcast finally. So, I think you guys you guys seem to enjoy this type of content. Now let's add in all the fucking, all the other, famous people in the space that are fun to be around. So looking forward to it, guys. So that's on the horizon. And yeah, I already have a bunch of cool shit planned with a bunch of really cool people that y'all know. But for now, Sunday, noon, show back up. Me and Jake, we'll talk about it then. And yeah, TK should be the first guest. Yeah, we'll see about TK being the first guest. Probably not. But a lot of other people will be on. All right. So look forward to that. Sunday, 12 noon, show back up. Final super chats, and then we're bailing because, again, we're way past where we should be. We got Andanois. I can't even say your name. Andanois, $2. Gay. Okay. Thanks, brother. Solomon, $3.21, $10. Nate, what are you sipping on? Great show. Well, we're done now. Old fashions. We all need to laugh every now and then. Yeah, I hope you get a few of them out of here. Munchkin flags. That's a good idea. Oh, bunch of new merch is coming in. We got the new the skydiving Munchkin, a bunch of other shit. Tank tops all coming in the next week. Appreciate it, bro. Manuel Gutierrez, $2. Do you know MSRT? Did you work with him? I did not, unfortunately. Sorry, bro. And then we got Dano, not the Lions Den, $5. Some PSYOP girls have a... Wow, I can't even say that. But if it's not smart enough, don't marry it. Follow me. Okay. Well, I can't say that out loud, but thank you anyway. Bring in Ed Calderon. I don't know, maybe. We'll definitely have on, all the regulars that are connected to this channel. I got a couple famous comedians that we are, I think I told you guys about. We're going to launch the Green Beret vs. Comedian podcast. It'll be on my channel. But I have a couple famous comedians that will be launching with the show with me. That should be coming in the next couple months. So be on the lookout for that. Sunday, 12 Pacific, me and Jake. I will catch y'all in about a day and a half. Love y'all. Thanks for coming. Good night.